So
Sorry.
this is actually going to start off with something that is related to the ring, but related from outside of the ring. Uh, m- the biggest buzz of the wrestling world over the past month, and to be honest, in my opinion, the past year has been the Wrestling Club, led by Victor Taylor Perry. He is a New York City-based educator. This past Monday, he was able to bring a bunch of kids from his after-school wrestling program to Raw in Brooklyn at the Barclays Center. He currently runs, and when I say he, I mean Victor Taylor Perry. He currently runs a after school wrestling club program where he educates students on certain professional wrestlers, professional wrestling terms. Um, Obviously goes through like promos and different matches, and it honestly just warms my heart. Um, but I wanted to kind of get your impressions on all of this before we dive a little bit deeper into this show. Wanted your impressions on Victor Taylor Perry and the wrestling club.
I think that it's a wonderful thing. I think it's a great thing. I love when I get to see representation for my own people and
Mm,
especially for little kids because they're so impressionable. You know, they take in a lot of what they do see on TV. And as I say many times before on the show, we didn't grow up with a lot of representation. So I like the fact that they have these amazing um, black role models that came from all different types of classes in life. It was, and they certainly, and all the names that you mentioned that were present around the kids, they were definitely not people that had anything handed to them. They definitely worked their way up. And I feel like it does give them hope that, like they have as much of an opportunity to be living a life like that and, living their biggest hopes and dreams if they want to pursue wrestling, you
mhm,
know, and they won't be limited based off of the way that they look. So I just love that for them. I feel like it's
mm,
very important that kids do know that and that they got to see that because again, like we didn't have that growing up. So I love
mm.
that for them. And it probably made the talent feel wonderful to have been handpicked and selected to, like be, that image that is lasting in kids' head thinking, yeah, I want to be like Swerve. I want to be like Sasha Banks when I grow up. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
that's amazing because God, like, can you imagine just being like them being kids themselves and like never thinking that in a million years they're gonna be standing in front of a bunch of mini thumbs,
Right,
potential mini thumbs, people looking
right.
up to them, thinking that wow, like one day I want to be like you know, like you give me hope that I'm gonna be just like that. Like, I love that. I love that for them. What do you think?
Uh, Definitely for starters, this just kind of warms my heart. Um,
Hmm.
well, I said for starters already, but one of the biggest things that I love is that it's led by a black male teacher, and black male teachers matter in the classroom and in life. So I just think that that's just so poetic. I think that when I was a kid, I wish I would have had something like this when I was a kid because I feel like what he's doing is creating a community. And he's bonding these kids together with a shared knowledge and a shared passion of pro wrestling. And, I feel like when you're a child, when you're, preteen, teenager, a lot of times your passions can be intensified or even dumbed down just based off of the community or lack thereof around you, right? It's like, I like this thing, but not everybody likes it. So I don't want to do it or get into it because, I don't see it. But now, a black boy, a black girl can look to their left and look to their right and see people that look like them in the classroom, in their community that like the same things that they do. And it only encourages them to dive deeper into it. I think that it's incredible, right? Like he's doing an amazing job. Obviously, you had a bunch of wrestlers from different companies, whether it's WWE or AEW, come in and kind of show love with a Sasha Banks or Swerve or Keith Lee. Um, and I think Bianca came in. I'm not completely sure, but I think it's just awesome that a lot of these black talents are lending their time, resources, energy into this because this is something very, very special. He put out a tweet not too long ago saying that while it was quite ambitious, that he has 65 kids in his wrestling club, that he wanted to bring 40 to the next WWE event in New York City. Um, And I think that, if you're a podcaster, like if you like us, if you're a podcaster, if you're black and you're anywhere in this wrestling community, we need to be doing our part in this, right? Like we didn't have this growing up, but we need to make ways so that these kids can have it all. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like we all need to work together and bond together to support the wrestling club. So I don't know if we can start like a GoFundMe or something like that, but we need to do something. We need to support and we need to pour into these kids. And we need to do what we can do to make sure that these kids have the experiences that they deserve. Like it just makes my heart happy to see something like this, and I really really hope that they continue to do this. So big shout outs to the wrestling club. I think there was one more thing that I wanted to say, but I like it totally skipped my mind. Oh, to the wrestlers. If you're a black wrestler, regardless of what company that you're in, you need to be investing in this. Point blank period. WWE, AEW, Impact Wrestling, we all need to be supporting the wrestling club. Whether it's shouting them out, giving them a retweet, a like, we need to be doing our part, and we need to make sure that we're investing into these kids and into this community because it's best for business. But